Alright, confession time. When I put the 20m Yagi up on the tower last week, there was a couple of things that were untested. One was the patch lead that fed into the choke, from the choke to the Yagi. It was in my good tested patch leads box. But was it? We never actually tested the choke. And we didn't do a final test on the whole run of coax from the bottom of the tower. And by the way, I call it a tower because to me it is a bloody tower. Look at the size of it, 62 foot to the top. So let's drop the tower, get the step ladders out and measure some stuff, because at the moment I've got basically either a short circuit or an open circuit. I don't know. What I'm doing here is I'm just putting the sidelines on the falling derrick, between the falling derrick and the two outside guys. I'm disconnecting the falling derrick from the backstay, the back guy point. Then I've got to fit some heavy black rope. I think the winch has probably got just enough to put the whole thing down, but I don't think there'll be enough turns left on the drum. I don't think it's fair on the winch. And then I'll just pull on one side of the guys. Oh, hard hat. So now you can use VNAs and all sorts, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a basic multimeter just to trace, you know, to make sure we haven't got a short or we've got an open circuit or whatever. The trick is in fault finding, particularly if you're an antenna, is not to panic. It'll be something normally extremely easy. All right. So I'm just looking for a short at the feed point at the moment. Nothing there. Now this might be shorted, actually. No, it's not. Okay, so maybe it's an open circuit. Let's have a look at the top feed point. So I'm now going to take the choke off completely and test for continuity of this patch lead between the center conductor and the element, and the other side between the element, because this bit of the patch lead was never tested. So ground, I don't know which way that goes. So that works. So that's all right. We'll put a dummy load on one end and put the meter on this whole run here. Maybe it's that connector, because one of these we didn't put on ourselves. So this is the switching matrix, but we will borrow the dummy load from the 4 square here and plumb that in one end, and we'll just check on the meter, because at the moment this is demonstrating it's something to do with this coax. If you remember, I was saying this is a budget station. So you can't afford sometimes to use, you know, single runs of coax. You've got to make do with what you got to do, with what you got, you know. So here we are at the cabinet. So it's not plumbed in, but that's okay because I had this out on Saturday to test it. Let's plug that straight into this stick. That's 20. I know it is because the other one's 10 and that one works. We have a dummy load in the other side, so on any frequency I should see a perfect match here. And of course I won't, because we know that something's broken. Okay, we have a perfect match. We have a perfect match. So we've only got a perfect match at the moment to the dummy load. Now we need to continue. So this is good. The main coax run works. We know that the Yagi works. So somewhere between there and there we've got a problem. And at the moment that's pointing to this. So let's do some double checks and make sure we've got continuity at least from one end to the other. I suspect we haven't, or have we already tested this? I can't remember. Yes. So that's good. Well, at the moment everything is good. Because fault finding is it's not a skill, it's a patience thing. It's just following a signal path. What we're doing now. And the other problem is when I originally put the 4-square in, the patch lead I was using was intermittent, depending where it was. So quite often I waggle it around, if you know what I mean. Where did I put the stick? It's in my pocket. So now we can just seek if we have resonance again. If not, I actually don't know where it could be. I mean, I'm getting some dips, but completely in the wrong place. I wish I was cleverer, alright? So the next thing we haven't tested is the stick directly, whoops, I'm walking into some of these guy lines, put the stick directly on the Yagi, okay? No, bypass the choke, I'm only testing my little patch lead thing with the little rubberized connectors on the end with the forks. So this comes back out again. Because all weekend I've been thinking this little patch lead here that we used just is suspect for me, you know. And then it gets to the point of what have I not tested? Perfect. Okay, last testing, we'll put a known good patch lead at the end of the choke and then put the dummy load onto that and then go down the bottom and check the whole signal path. The weird bit is that we can't put, because we have fork connectors directly to the Yagi, but difficult to connect to that. Our stick is still connected. So we're now coming all the way through the choke. Right. Bad. Not good with that choke in line. Take the choke out. Ah, we've intermittent. We've got the dummy load at the other end, haven't we? Let me check I've actually got it on the right place. So that's quite interesting. We've already checked the signal path one way, now we're checking it the other way, and I've got a different result. We don't want a different result, we want the same result. We've already gone from there to the other end, so I know it sounds funny, but I'll swap all this over. So it might not be the choke. Well, worst comes to worst, we will pull that coax out and replace it. What am I doing? I'm swapping everything over, going backwards, weirdly enough. I hope you can keep up with me, because I can't. Right, we've got a dummy load at the top of the tower, and we have a lead at the bottom. And I've just had a thought. You might remember when I was doing this, that I intentionally put the Messi and Poloni PL259 at the bottom, because I wasn't confident in myself, particularly at the time, because I wasn't using flux to get the solder down the little pin in the Messi and Poloni. They're very good connectors, but you do need a little bottle of flux. And so I'm just going to eyeball that connector. Oh, that's a bit confusing. I thought I had intentionally put the Messi and Poloni. Maybe it's the one at the top, in which case we'll have to swap that one out. I'm expecting this not to work. Anyway, I'll look at that SWR right across the top. So it's definitely inside this coax. So because my strongest hunch is that connector, we'll just have a look. If it's the Messi and Poloni one, that's the one I didn't have confidence in myself to fit. This was last year before I got my bottle of flux. I'm just eyeballing it now. I'll have to go back to the footage, because unless I cut both PL259s off and completely omitted the Messi and Poloni one. Okay, now I'm confused because I don't know which one to test. Now there's a really clever way of using a VNA or whatever else to find out where your fault is on a coax, but because we know this has got a join anyway and has to come out regardless, I think I should spend a bit of time to pull that coax out, replace it temporarily with what was on it, which is this 7mm coax here. That's the original stuff, and we know that one goes right to the top. Look, I have spoken to Stefano at Messi and Poloni, so we are going to get some more Ultraflex and we'll sort it out then. But in the meantime, my personal feeling is let's bite the bullet rather than trying to work out and chop both these end connectors off and replace them, only to find out it was that bloody join halfway up the pole. Well, it's not, it's actually very close to the top. We're probably better off pulling it right through if we can. Utter drat. It's not long enough. We must have used that when it was the 12-meter tower, not 19. Let's go inside, see what we've got. Let's see what we've got in here. We are literally scraping a barrel here. So that is rotator cable. That is 75 ohm. That is 75 ohm. That's air cell 5. I think, yeah. That's no bloody good. Ah, what the hell is this? Handy. This is Ultraflex 7, which is exactly what we need. Just need a couple of connectors for it. Now I happen to know we are completely out of connectors for 7mm, so I'll have to rob a patch lead. I don't like doing this. So I recovered both PL259s. I've already put one on there, and I just thought, let's remove all the potential failure points completely. We'll measure this out and put a couple of forks on the end of this, and then we'll use this. We'll wrap a couple of 240-43s on this one and about 6 turns. But just for fun, I think what we should do is double check a couple of things. I'm just interested in this coax or where it's gone wrong. So I'm just stripping a little bit of insulation off some DX10, because what I'd like to do is short out the plug at the top and just run a multimeter. I honestly don't know how to use a VNA to find out where the fault is. That would be an interesting experiment. I'd have to ask someone to help me, because every day is a learning day. Thank you, Mr. Dummy Load. We don't need you anymore. Right, short this out somehow. I don't quite know how. Oh, thinking about it, I've got a shorting plug inside. Never mind. I found a bit of tape. Where is it? There. I mean, this is going to really confuse me if... It might be when I review this footage, I'll think to myself, oh, I know what you've done wrong. But, in the heat of battle, even an old lag like me can get it wrong, Ha! It's shorted.
Okay, we have a perfect match.
After all that, there's definitely, a short circuit. Oh, okay. That solves that problem. Next problem is how to remove this coax. There's a huge, great lump in it, isn't there? I think it's got to go right out the top. So we need to cut the PL259 off at the base. And hopefully make sure that the 10-meter coax doesn't get in the way. What a Mickey Mouse problem this is, eh? No, we got there in the end. We know what it is. That's the point. For starters, that's got to come off. We'll salvage this, because this will be... We've only just put this on. This will be good, I know it will. I will use that choke, but we'll put it somewhere else. I've got a plan for it already, which is at the bottom of the tower. The reason for that is that I want to choke off the coax before it comes up the tower to kind of remove it from the equation. Let me think about this. Oh good, it's moving. Right, that join definitely won't come through here, but it'll go straight through the end. So we'll find the end of this, poke it that way, and pull the whole lot out that way. So I've got to go down the bottom, pull this back about a foot, chop that PL259 off here, shove it down there, pull the whole lot out. Of course, this is the ideal time really to thread that 7mm stuff up, but I mean, it's just as easy to put the snake down, isn't it? Otherwise, I've got a lot of lumpy stuff going on here. Let me deal with one problem at a time. But as a learning curve, we will test all these on the bench. I will report back sometime where the problem was. We will also replace this with a single run of heavier coax one day. All right, I've got to somehow get clever here and poke this through here and a little loop into this gap. So, okay, I think we can do this. That goes down, that goes up. Hey, we're there. Right, get the whole lot up now, including the big lump. There it is. Ah. That was no good, was it? But we'll work all this out. Let's get this out of the way. I mean, there's some good coax in here, but just not today, eh? All right, I've got to sort all this out. Let's move it. Now, in reality, I should only be pulling up what I need from this reel. So I think we should measure it out, then connect it to the snake. So I need to match what we've got on 10, which is up there, down there, up there, round there, round there, it's about there, and then I'll check. Let's tape that to there and we can cut it the right size. I mean, I didn't need to film this, okay, but it's important to know that, you know, if you make a mistake, to show how you fix it. Now, in fairness, it took me bloody forever to work out what the fault was, but we got there in the end. I've got to cut this now. Well, obviously I want to cut it a couple of metres too long. I know we'll end up with a bit of scrap, but there, plus, and then we need to reserve some for a homemade choke as well. Thinking about it, this will do the 160m, 80m dipole run, won't it? I dropped Matt M0AT a text, I think it was Friday, so I need 6 or 8 PL259s for 7mm coax. I completely run out, so I had to desolder the other two. Right, snake's down the bottom. Let's go and thread this now. Oh, there it is, tucked in there. Right, got it. Okay. I'm glad I got that bloody connector out, you know, because I just thought I'd never get an Ethernet cable up there, would I? With all that lump up it, you know, slightly restricted. Right, there's no pressure. I mean, that should be enough, but we'd better put another mini wrap just below it. So how much I lost? It's about 22 metres of SL7 versus 22 metres plus, ignore the connector, I don't think there would have been any loss there, of Flex or air. They call it something berry, some flex berry or something. That's an easy pull. Where is it? Oh, I can feel something. We're stuck, are we? We're on a bit of this. I've got a funny feeling. Oh, I've just pulled off the bloody stuff, and we're not far up either. God, if it's not one thing, it's another. I think I was like underneath this or over the top of that or something. Shit. I wonder if we should put a bit of silicone, make it slippier. Right, I see the snake there. Let's get this back out again. Wonder what went wrong there then. Interesting all the same. Alright, well, you probably missed most of that because my microphone was on my pullover. It was a hell of a job actually getting the snake up and down. Oh, we got there in the end. I coated it in silicone. It pulled right up. So, okay, we now have coax up to here. I've just threaded it in there in case it rains. What we'll do is we'll make roughly the same as what we did on 10 meters on 20. That means we'll have no joins at all, nothing that can go wrong on a temporary basis between the bottom of the cabinet, the bottom of the mast, bottom of the tower and the Yagi, because there's absolutely no joins. We'll put fork connectors and a choke here. This is a tomorrow job now because it's just getting a wee bit late here. And I've not got a car today. I'm reliant on Wendy, and she's bound to say, "Are you ready to go?" And I'm not, so I thought I'd clear up now. All right, so I will see you tomorrow. Right, I don't know what I'm doing really, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turns. I think it'll be enough. Cable ties, tape, bit of both. Start off with some tape because that's what I've got in my pocket, just to so it doesn't all fall apart, you know. I'll go there. Alright, so right, same as last time. Chop that off. Put some forks on it. I've always wondered if there's a trick to, you know, untangling that mess. I'm looking for the crimpers. We'll be in here, there they are. And I think we'll just use that rubber glue stuff again. Do we solder today? I don't think we need to, you know. It ain't coming off, is it? Now we got the bottle of splodge. There's no sun today, so it's taking a long time to dry. Oh, we do that trick with the blow lamp. That's quite a good fun. Oh. Hot yesterday, cold today, rain tomorrow. Dave's coming back tomorrow. Dave the tree man. We're going to chop that tree behind me so we can fit the signature 9 on the top of this mast and give us 160 metres. And so this is working quite well actually. Rather pleased. So it might last, this temporary fix might last quite a while, chaps. It's still wet inside, which is quite handy really because it's still all glooping about, isn't it? Adjustable. Before we do anything, let's put the stick on the bottom of this run. Make sure I haven't done another problem, you know. I've already connected it, but never mind, we'll just unconnect it. Disconnect it, unconnect it. Yeah, we're fine. So, at least we got a dip, you know what I mean? So I think the moral of this story is get it right before you put it up. But as usual, you know, I'm in a rush, whatever. Go on, Django, catch him, man. So I did design this little cutout. I designed it so we could put cable ties here. I wanted to do this so this big cable tie that's holding is all nice and tight, didn't fall off because I've got a little cable tie here holding it on, that's all. All right, I mean that looks all right, I think. I think we put this thing back up get on 20 meters for 10 minutes. Somebody mentioned the other day they wanted like a step-by-step guide how we did this. Actually, I'd like to make that to remind me, because I have made a couple of little mini mistakes here and there. Let's get this thing up anyway. This way, come. Right, so in light winds, the derrick itself holds the mast upright. We've got, according to the Met Office, we've got up to 27 miles an hour gusts, so we'll just be careful. I'll just stand next to it and tie it off quickly if I need to. This will be on a turnbuckle eventually, marked, so we know exactly how much to tension it back up. Let's get all this off a minute. Do you know what, that top one? I'm forever tinkering with the tensions. I feel it with my hand quite well. I just feel it needs half an inch on this. Oh, that's fine. About side to side. I've got to pull it over the middle. Just tension the middle up a teeny bit. I'm sure they all seem to be stretching at different speeds in a weird way. Mind you, the side guys have been under tension for 3 or 4 days, and the forward and aft guys, because this is a bit like a ship, I should be calling it starboard and port next. I'm happy with that. Yeah, okay. Well, I vote that we fire this up either now or later tonight before I put this video out, so you can, just join me for 5 minutes of fun, see where we can get to. Because I don't actually think we've used... Well, I don't think I've ever connected this up, have I? At 19 metres, 2 elements, it should be about 1.5 dBs off of 3 elements, which is not a lot. You can't notice 1.5 dB on gain. It's very good with front to back though, that's the difference. I'm just going to tidy up this winch. Mike, 0 X-ray, X-ray Tango, North America.
Victor Oscar 1, United Kilo. Victor Oscar 1, United Kilo.
Kilo 3 Mike Hotel. I'm beaming over the North Pole. I'm not sure where you're beaming now.
Lima Yankee 7
X-ray Tango. This is Lima Yankee 7 Juliet Mike.
Alpha Charlie 4 Hotel India. Alpha Charlie 4 Hotel India.
Victor Oscar 1 Charlie Hotel.
8 Echo Uniform Echo QSL.
I think that was a pretty good test. Join me next time where we attempt to put up the 160 metre vertical and the problems I've got with that. So I'll see you there. Have a great day, enjoy your radio, and bye for now.